A second? We have a second from Commissioner Johnson. All those in favor of adopting minutes say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. The minutes are adopted. At this point, we'll go to public comments. Do we have anybody for public comments, Carla?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, excellent. And so we'll go straight to new bids. And I think the first one is PAWS. Michael, if you'll come forward. This is drug medical supplies. I'm going to borrow you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So we've received 2 bids in.
Is this the bid where we did last month and we didn't get any respondents, and so we redid it?
Very old.
Yeah.
The first one is for Midwest.
Michael, can you explain what it is that we're trying to purchase or bid, what the
Yes,
point
sir.
of the purchase is, please, sir?
Every year, all of our drugs and medical supplies that we use within the facility, we bid those out to make sure we're in compliance with all of them.
Is this all the drugs, or all the pharmaceutical drugs you use, or just?
There may be an odd end every now and then that we need one bottle of something different, but by and large, this is all of it.
Okay.
And we just ordered this as needed. It's not that we're committed to purchasing a certain amount or anything.
Okay.
Michael, you're so busy and you're so jammed all the time, so this is enough, even at full capacity, to get you through the year?
We put down what we think our approximate quantities are going to be, but we only order on an as-needed basis. So we're not committed to purchasing, the first thing is 55-gallon pails of cleaner. We just purchase it as needed.
So you get them in every month or something?
Just whenever we're getting low. We try not to order in, a year's worth at a time.
Are you familiar with this Midwestern Veterinary
Yes,
Supply?
they've been one of our vendors for several years.
Okay. And are you relatively been satisfied with their service?
Yes, they're very satisfied.
Okay.
Did you say that you're obligated every year to rebid?
We rebid it every year, just to make sure that, because some of the pricing and stuff changes, so we want to make sure we're trying to get the best.
If I may, this looks rather exhaustive.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think any of us have had an
No.
opportunity to review it.
No, what we typically have done is take them under advisement.
Excellent.
I'll go back and prepare.
Wonderful suggestion, Director Gregory.
What I do is I'll make a spreadsheet based off of this that will compare each of the bidders together to see who has the low and or best price. And sometimes I end up having to make calls to them to make sure that we're looking at apples to apples.
Perfect.
And those type of things. So yes, sir, we won't be making a decision.
The second bid come from Covetris.
Covetris. Just as an example, you'll see on this one, they bid the approximate quantity and gave a total price for that. So I'll have to go back and break those down to an individual price.
Like,
versus
so
a lump sum.
you have to break it down to a unit price
Yes,
or
sir.
whatever. Okay.
Yes, sir. So there's some work there that we'll
So
have to
you
do.
have an apples to apples comparison, would that be right?
Yes, sir. And sometimes one company may bid on a medication that's 50 mLs and the other company may bid on something that's 100. So I want to make sure that we're looking at price per ml and those type things as well.
Thank you.
Was just 2 bidders?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I'll move that we take it under advisement.
We have a motion taken under advisement. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Boyd. All those in favor of taking it under advisement say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. However, I kind of ran through that. Do we have any questions for Mr. Gregory? I kind of jumped the gun there for a second. Sorry.
Is next month okay? That gives you plenty of time?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
thank you.
You have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
ambulance remount, EMS. My man. We're doing very well. Scotty, how are you doing?
So we received one bid in.
Scotty, why don't you tell us what we're doing here?
Okay, this is for 2 ambulance remounts. So basically what we do, we just purchased 2 new ones. So the remounts is where we take an old box and put a new truck under.
So
what
it's
they
an
do-
old box on a new chassis.
Yes, sir. They completely refurbish it. Used to, the remounts was almost half of what a new one cost, but everything's gone up, so now it's not like that anymore. So, there's about $40,000 difference now, where it used to be a lot more. But, we've got several, we're getting a lot of miles on our ambulances, and right now, I ordered 3 back in August of '22.
3 new ones.
Yes, sir, but I finally got delivery date on them. They're gonna start building them the second week of January.
Holy cow.
So the 2 that I just ordered on the contract, they're not gonna be here till 26.
2022 order date and a 2024 delivery
Yes,
date.
sir. They're running about 2 years behind, everybody is. All the manufacturers with the chip problem, then when they couldn't get chassis, so now they're getting chassis. But the company that we buy our new ones from, they usually build 225 units a year. They got 600 orders. So, but they did get me bumped up to the second week of January for the ones that's been ordered for a year and a half. So we've been kind of piecing things together. You know, we're putting a lot of miles on every day. I have one I was gonna get rid of and sell it on Gov Deals. Well, we've kept it the raw parts off of it because we can't get parts. But so that's the dilemma we got. It's just taking forever to get anything. But these 2, should be for 2 remounts. The boxes are still in good shape. You can remount them up to 3 times on some of them. And we've got a few that we've remounted. I've remounted them 1 time, and that's it.
How many times have we remounted these boxes?
This will be the first time.
First remount.
First time, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The company is Select Tech. You've had experience with
We
them before.
have. They're over at Shelbyville, Tennessee. We've been working with them for probably 14 years. They're close, they're local. They help us out a lot. If we have something breaks, I can run over there and pick it up, bring it back to our shop from a fix. They do all of my wrecks because they have the equipment to do it. And when the job they do, some of the trucks we've got back from them look better when we got them back from them than it did when they were brand new. But they completely go through them. They're a real good bunch of folks over there.
Scotty, how
Family
many
owned.
vendors did we send requests to? Do you know
Sent them to
offhand?
5, maybe.
I can tell you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
6.
6, okay. And we got 1 response?
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's generally the way it goes.
Is it?
Over the past years, that's all they've been pretty much on ones.
Okay. Do we have an explanation for why that is?
Most of them are so far out of town, and
Okay.
this bunch is close. They know we're gonna try to use them, and they usually beat everybody's prices.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So, this has been, we've had a competitive situation before.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
good.
Yes,
I just
sir.
want to make sure
right.
we're not,
Because like instead of having to take the truck to North Carolina for them to do it, that's extra cost.
Yeah.
We take it 25 miles down the road.
it's a little different.
And then get it done. And if we have a problem, we're 25 miles away to get it taken care of, and they're real good. They help us out a lot. You know, I took a truck over yesterday to be worked on, and they said, "There, take it. If it don't work, let us know. We'll fix it. If it works, don't worry about it." You know, so they're real good to work with us, and real good bunch of folks. Family-owned place, and we've done work with them for another 15 years.
The net price completed as specified is $139,300, $139,300. That's each though, correct?
Right. That's each. Yes, sir.
What was the last one we had done?
I want to say, I don't remember. I didn't look it up. I want to say it was around no, it was like 96 to 99,000.
Gone up quite
So
a
they
bit.
went up quite a bit. Yes, sir. Because they really shocked me when we were just talking over there one day, and even the new ones went up like 41%. And it just was a
How much
cost
are
of
the new ones?
the new ones that I just bought were 181, 128. We bought them on that Savick contract, so we didn't have to bid those out. So they come out to 181, 128. But in which we got 3 coming. And then I just ordered, so on this budget here, I put in for 2 new ones and 2 remounts. So I've ordered 2 new ones that they told me would be here to 26, and then these 2 will go along with it. So we're kind of gonna have to every year go ahead and buy them, or try to get a few to stay ahead, because if we waited till we need them, it's gonna take 2 years or longer to get them. I was talking to the director in Marshall County. They just got one in. It'd been over 2 years getting it. But both of these places that we buy from, even the new ones, they've been real good to us. All of them have, and they've met our exceptions very well. So, and that price comes in for under what I budgeted for. So, I budgeted for 150,000 each on them. So, what'd you say it was, 130?
139.3
So,
each.
you know, we'll be in good shape on that.
Is there any reason you need to review do you need to review the proposal before making a recommendation?
I don't think so. No, sir. Because I pretty much, it was just like it was the last ones we got from them. You know, the price went up.
All right.
This is in your budget.
Yes, sir. I put in 150 each in my budget, and it come in at 130. So I'm in good shape on it. Now, with that being said, the only other issue we have is, so it being 18 months before delivery, the only thing we have to do, if the chassis price goes up, we have to pay the difference. But I think on this, you can go like 10% over, I think is what it is, maybe. But I'll have the extra money there if we need to. But that usually the chassis can increase anywhere from $100 to $1,500. But you know, but that would be the only price increase that we would see, and may not even see that. But and he may have put it in there. I hadn't looked at it. Sometimes he does. Usually, you know, the MedX, they sent a contract with theirs saying that we would pay the difference, and so you know that wasn't a big deal. So like I said, it won't be that much. We get a fin discount. Ford has a fin number, so that fin number with Ford fluctuates from quarterly. I don't know how they rate that, but it could go from 400 discount to 2,500 discount. So it depends on when you get the chassis. There's a price difference there. So with that, whatever the chassis went up, that might take care of that price. So we might not have to pay anything. But we don't know till they get the chassis. So, and it being 18 months out, you know, who's to say how much they're going to go up? You know, they don't know. And I think that's fair with them to say that, than them having to eat that money 18 months down the road. You know, they can't. They don't know how much it's going to cost them to get it. So, but I'm okay with this with 130.
139.3.
139. I'm okay with that.
That's
Like I
times
said,
two. That's times two.
Yes, sir. That's within my budget.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Commissioner Fields to approve. We have a second from Commissioner Johnson or Boyd. He's kind of anxious today, isn't he?
He is.
You got somewhere you want to be?
You can keep that.
Commissioner Gooch, can you help me out down there, please? All those in favor of approving, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Also, if things start falling
Oh,
off in the next
my-
2 years, we're running a special on duct
I
tape.
know better than that.
Okay. All right.
We got to call the roll, Mac. Why didn't you tell me?
She called the roll.
The roll on it's because we're spending money.
That's because of Anthony Johnson.
He got me all straight. You got us all. Carla, if you'll call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Phillips.
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Mayor.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
you
y'all.
very much. Thank you, Carla,
Have
for.
a good one.
All right, I need to sign this and send it on, do I not?
Yes, start signing that one and pass it around, please.
Commissioner Johnson, I'm leaving you room above my name so you can sign yours.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I know that's what you, according to Commissioner Gooch, it's what you like to do. If I memory serves correctly, Commissioner Gooch.
It serves you correctly, yes.
The last meeting, I was on the very bottom. As low as I could go.
Oh my goodness. Front loading refuse collection body, solid waste. Mr. Bishop,
Hello, everyone.
how are we doing?
Doing fairly well. Opened up a new center today.
I did, you know what? I tried to get there, and the meeting I had,
They waited all day for you.
no, don't say that.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna try to get over there tomorrow.
Anytime.
I will get over there. Over at Leanna, right?
Leanna. The phase one in Leanna, we moved over to all this stuff over to the new compactors, and then we're gonna be working on phase two to get that one wrapped up, and I'm pushing them over in there in y'all's neck of the woods to get that one wrapped up too.
Okay.
How far are we from Wakeley Lane? Getting and that
Pretty close. They're doing so before they can come over and do phase two, the landscaping and the final grading has to be done at Smyrna. That'll allow the fencers to come in and do the Smyrna, and then once we're there, we'll be there.
Good
So,
deal. Good deal.
If you work with the city of Smyrna on a a preferred travel path? for people?
yeah, we've been going back and forth with them on that. We're gonna stack on that road off of the entrance will be the one that's off of
G
G
Street.
Street. Yeah.
Bishop, you don't sign that.
It-
We appreciate the willingness. I can't, yeah, I mean, you want to sign, I guess. I should try to Boy, we're in rare form tonight, aren't we?
Showed y'all a little bit of insight into my life.
Bishop, tell us what we're doing with a front-loading refuse collection body, please,
Yes, sir. So we budgeted this year for a front load truck. This is the trucks that we use to pick up, and this one in particular will be used to get our recycling. We've got a recycling truck I'm going to rotate into the solid waste side of our operations. This one will be kept out of the landfill, and it'll stay in pretty good shape for a while. It's the ones that pick up the 8-yarders and put them up like this that y'all see all over the county, and they're this was bid out prior to me coming into this position, but the lead time's kind of like what Scotty was talking about earlier. We're just so long that last year we postponed the purchase of that, and we got some roll-off vehicles instead, which were needed. And we're coming around this year to try to get those that front loader in so that we can keep our fleet up.
How many are we requesting?
Just one.
Just one, okay.
So we got 3 bids in on time. I did receive a late bid in this afternoon that we cannot accept because they came in after a deadline time.
How much after? Just curious.
It came in at 3:59.
And the
It was
deadline
supposed
was?
to have been at 2.
Okay.
They overlooked on the form. They seen the 4:30 and missed the 2 o'clock that was underneath it. So that one cannot be opened. Okay, so our first one is from EPG, and that's the only copy that we have.
Is the one that came in late, is that a company that we know and that we?
Yes, it was from Brush Truck Centers, and I called them out in the hallway downstairs and got their business cards, because one guy's retiring and this guy's going to be taking over, so I made sure to get that for the next go
So
round.
we're not going to open that one at all. But I will say this, if Bishop is not satisfied with the openings, we can, based on his recommendation, this body can vote to rebid.
Rebid.
But that would be up to this committee.
I'm curious, when did the first 2 come in? Was it
Let's see, the first one,
was it today or
You timestamp
last
it,
week?
don't you?
yeah, it came in on the 8th of August.
Came in early.
Yes, and then my other guy, he came in this morning about a little after 10. Or no, I was on lunch. No, it was between 12 and 1 when the second one came in. Well, number 2 and number 3 came in, same time.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this
This-
the original for?
This is the next one after EPG.
Oh, okay, okay. So they didn't send any copies?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I didn't see copies in there. I think it was all the same.
Did you?
Is it
does the bid-
appropriate? Is it appropriate for me to ask questions of a submitter if they're in the room?
He is in the room. Yes.
It is, because I have a question too.
Certainly.
Who is the submitter?
Derek?
Derek, are you here?
EPG.
Come on up to the table if you don't mind. You're gonna get yourself a grilling. Just kidding, Derek. A question, we asked for copies to be sent along with the original. Is there a reason why copies weren't sent?
Yeah, I was out sick and my boss put it together for me, so I guess the blame's on him.
Okay.
Attaboy.
There you go.
Blame the boss.
I'll do a real quick rundown. Derek, are all of the provided specifications? I'm not seeing anything that's standing out, but have you met all the provided specifications that were inside the RFP?
As far as I know, my boss looked over, as far as I know, yes. And then this is the source we'll put right there.
Yep.
Right there.
And so
Everything
Labrie,
that's on here is on this.
Labrie is your body.
Labrie, yeah.
Labrie, I'm not familiar with them.
They're
having-
Wiki, Leach, and Labrie.
Okay.
So Leach would be the rear loader, Wiki's the front loader, and then Labrie's the side loader.
Gotcha. And they're out of Florida?
The Labrie's based out of Canada. They have a manufacturing plant in Arizona, Mexico, and Georgia.
Okay. They got the.
So if you remember the old rear loaders, the Leach rear loaders, that's who they are.
Okay.
That's who owns them. Our headquarters is based out of Florida, but we have offices in Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Caribbean,
And it says you have a truck here ready for September 2023 for delivery.
on a Mack chassis.
It means you have a chassis that's sitting on your yard right now.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
We buy, the reason we have a lot of trucks in stock is because we're buying as many as we can get our hands on.
Okay.
And I think there's a reference sheet in there too.
Bishop, they're providing both the truck and the loader, correct?
Yes, they're together in one package.
Okay, so.
Chassis and body.
And do we specify the kind of truck?
It's right there, sorry.
No, just the specifications on the truck. So although I think this is a Mack,
That's why that is read in my mind, that's where I'm going. What
which
kind
is
of
our.
truck is it?
It's a Mack truck with a Labrie
Labrie
with it.
So we didn't specify the truck.
No.
Okay, that's
We
all
just, I just.
Because I know we have a lot of Mac, and I just didn't know if that's what we were trying to go
We
with.
specified that it had certain capacities within those capacities if it meets it. Like I said, I'm not seeing anything on this list that is not in my specifications.
It's a pretty loaded truck.
Pretty
Pretty
it is.
solid
It's got cameras and they're on Sourcewell contract. The price that they have submitted here for bid is $352,336.
The actual Sourcewell contract that I said is right there. This is the Sourcewell contract. I just do that so it has pictures and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
You said 352.3?
352,336. Yes, sir. Okay.
And like I said, I did find a reference sheet. It was on the bottom there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was so.
Do we have Labrie in our fleet?
I have no Labrie bodies.
That's what I'm asking.
No.
Yeah, each dealer sells their own bodies. They have Labrie dealers, and UA dealers.
Sure.
I guess I do have one more question for you. You go. Where's the closest place to service this body?
So we have mobile techs throughout the state. We have 10 mobile techs that travel. That's all they do is travel. And then we have our brick and mortar store in Memphis.
Okay. Memphis is the closest. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you.
It's Derek, correct?
Derek, that's
Thank
correct.
you. Thank you very
thank
much. Excuse me, Derek, I'm sorry. Any other questions from the committee?
Give our best to your boss.
I will. And I don't know if I put my card in.
Trey, coming from the top of the road. Bringing the low.
He's going to get a ration.
Commissioner Phillips, can I ask you to sit down there and help keep Commissioner Gooch in line, please?
What's he doing?
Okay.
Okay. You cannot.
Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
Good answer.
Okay.
Thank you, Derek.
So number 2 bid, this one is from Beckmahan.
I gave it away.
Here.
Friendly.
352, 336.
Do we have one of these now?
Yes.
How many?
5. Three of them are operational, running every day. One of them is a backup, and one of them is a spare truck.
Is this, would this one replace one?
This one would replace the one we're using for our recycling, and it would move the recycling truck into the garbage collection, and we'll be able to surplus out our parts.
When's the last time we bought one of these?
It was before I started here, probably 2 years before I started.
Is there a representative from McMahon here?
No, sir. He texted and said that he wouldn't be able to make it, then he was called back to the
That's
office.
fine. I got a question when you get ready, Bishop.
Sure, I've looked through this. This will be a Mack truck, a Mack chassis with what's a Mammoth body. Currently, solid waste has Mammoth bodies and they have New Wave bodies. Or excuse me, Mammoth bodies and we have Heil bodies. Mammoth is New Wave. Both of them have similar service ratings. There's some driver preferences toward one over the other in different areas, but as far as servicing and our experience in utilizing those, they're pretty much the same. There is a difference in this type of chassis than the chassis that we have currently on our fleet. This chassis is what's called an LR chassis, which is a lower riding chassis than the larger truck chassis that we've used on the rest of them. Has a little bit less horsepower. It looks like the request was 375. This one has 350 horsepower requirement on it. All of the other specifications look to be pretty close. The door seal size is a little bit smaller.
Let me ask you this, Bishop.
Yes, sir.
The previous quote was 352, 336, correct?
Yes, this is 367, 608, 63.
What am I looking at on page 3 with the Mammoth body at 148.9?
This is the price of the body itself that goes on top of the chassis. So they've separated it out. This company doesn't give it all in one under Sourcewell like the previous.
My question to you is real simple. Are we to add 148.9 to 367, 608, 63?
No, 367, 608, 63 is the chassis and body together.
That's what I want to make sure of. Thank you.
Okay. I've looked at that.
You ready for the next one?
Yes, please.
Okay, so same company, different ones.
So the same company issued two bids?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. This is for the same chassis, it appears, and a separate body. The body from this is from a Heil. And the price that this is coming in at is $415,715.52.
Bishop, what did we have budgeted?
$500,000, not to exceed. Let's see this package.
I guess I'm a little naive, but why would the same company submit two different bids?
Because there's two separate bodies.
One's a Heil, one's a Mammoth. Heil is made in Cleveland, Tennessee. I'm not sure where Mammoth is made, are you?
They're Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, but why would they do that?
Because they wanted to give us a couple of different options to what was available out there. If they can get a chassis and get a body on a chassis, that's gives them more options to be able to maybe make a sale with the county and work with us. We do have contracts with McMahon on my fleet and a service contract with them currently, so they do good. They've done good work with us in the county, and I work with them regularly. I do have a few more questions about the environmental products group. If I could call them back up.
Well, yeah, you can, but let me ask you a question. Are you going to be able to make a reliable recommendation just based on reviewing here today, or is it something you would like to take under consideration?
I think that if I could ask a couple more questions, I can answer that question. I know what I've got here. I've got to find out if I'm looking at the same thing.
Let me ask, is there an objection from the committee about Mr. Bishop placing this call?
I only have a concern. You know, you're asking questions, but I'm just wondering if you're taking the thorough look at that and making sure that you're making a decision based on that thoroughness. I don't know how to say it other than that.
No.
Just not feeling pressured to do it tonight.
Right. There's a lot of questions in here.
There's a
I
lot
know you
of
can probably
questions.
look at them and say, yeah, but.
Yeah, I wrote it, so I'm
Yeah, so-
familiar with what
okay.
it has there. Like I said, I'm confident in what these say. This isn't in the same format that I presented in the RFP, so I do have some questions, if I may, ask him before I can make a recommendation whether I'll go one way or not.
Is there an objection? Without none? Without objection? Without an objection, you can make your call.
I would object if you weren't asking the question.
Thanks.
Which do you consider the better body? Or is that unfair?
I think it's unfair. I could say that I've got both of these type of bodies, and both of them have issues in different areas. I think we do more service on the Mammoths. However, we use the Mammoths for garbage and they go up on the landfill. So it's probably a toss up when it comes there. I don't think anything on these two. I'll say that nothing that would justify the difference in price. You've piqued my curiosity with the price for one, but I need to make sure that I'm looking at the same truck, because the questions that were in the RFP, your boss didn't fill out in the same way that I'd submitted them. So part of that was I had all of these specs that were down there, and I was looking for yes and no answers on a lot of that for specifics, and I have pretty little amount of information about.
I can send you the chassis specs, and
So I'm wondering if that, and y'all help me out here, is that in violation of is that giving him an unfair advantage on this? Because we've got.
What are you asking?
I've got a packet, and the RFP that I sent out that Mac answered, that isn't in this packet, had all of my specifications and basically a yes/no list. This is what we need. This is the packet that we sent out.
this truck comes pretty much fully loaded. I mean, it's
What he's saying, Derek, is you didn't send it back. Your boss didn't send it back in the format in which it was requested. So he's trying to make an apples to apples
No,
comparison.
most
And without
definitely.
that format, it's proving to be a little difficult.
No,
Am I saying that right, Bishop?
Exactly right, and I'm happy to do that, but I don't know if that's allowed, considering we had a bid that came in late from another that I haven't opened and will not open.
No, it will not be open.
So do we, is this something that we have to go back to rebid to get and ask them to come back with this filled out in this way?
I would say with the amount of money, this is only a suggestion to the committee, with the amount of money we're talking about that's being budgeted for $500,000, I would not be opposed to rebidding it. But that's just one committee member's opinion.
I'd move to rebid.
I second it.
Well, let me say something.
Please.
Too late.
Well, I can say we got the discussion.
We are. This is for discussion. I'm going to have to separate you two. Please, Commissioner Phillips, help me out.
If we rebid, which is, I'm not saying I'm opposed to it, but I don't know if asking for specs nullifies the bid, other than because of the price, the cost is there. The McAdoo has more Phillips, but we rebid, then they know these prices here, and would that create some kind of a unfair advantage?
That's a good point.
It's an excellent point.
The deal with, that I was hinting at a minute ago is that you've got a lot of questions on that. So my thought was to take
Take it
these
under
bids under advisement, and then you come back next month with your recommendation.
And it's appropriate for me to ask him to resubmit these questions on that? I think
Because,
that's what I need.
well, what you're asking for is EPG to resubmit not the bid, but
Answer these
the answer to the questions. Now, I want to make sure on this point, Bishop, that the format wasn't a requirement for the bid. Was the format a requirement for the bid?
Yes.
So EPG didn't follow the requirement. Is that correct?
Correct.
So we essentially, this bid is disqualified because it wasn't submitted in the format in which it was requested. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
So now we got a format question. So now we're down to, I guess, Commissioner Gooch, I want to have a conversation about this if you don't mind, because you brought up a very relevant point about getting an undue advantage, but now apparently because we have one bidder who didn't follow the format as requested so that our solid waste director could make an informed decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that, did they just not put it in the format, or they just didn't answer any of the questions?
So none of the specifications, body nor chassis specification questions that were submitted in it were answered. They were basically set out to just go down a list and check yes or no, or if you had a change, put your change.
I think the answer to that question is yes to both format and questions.
It seems like that bid would not be acceptable.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm not trying to make a determination here, but I think if that is the case, then Chairman Phillips, you being a little long in the tooth in this process, I think that, do we not need to rebid it? Are we not back to that?
I think we can do anything that this committee feel comfortable with, but I would always lean upon the recommendation of the department.
Agreed.
If the department thinks it's best to rebid, or if the department thinks it's best to throw that out for particular reasons, I'd be more than inclined to listen to that recommendation. Doesn't mean, Bishop, that I'd always agree with it, as you probably know, but that's what I'm inclined to do. So if you're uncomfortable with that bid and you're not getting your questions answered, then I think it's your recommendation would weigh heavily upon the decision that the committee makes.
Well, I'll pull it. I'll put y'all into my brain for a second with what's going on with this.
No, I've been there before, guys.
This
isn't going to go well.
Is that I like this price. Of course, it's the lowest price of the three. However, and I'm not a big fan of technicalities. There are some things that I need to know before making a $400,000 decision, and one of them is what's the truck I'm going to get. What's the chassis? Got it? What's its power? What's its powertrain? What's its horsepower capacity? He said it's an automatic, but none of that is detailed in the document that I would hand you to sign. It's got some specs on it, but nothing as detailed as the work that we put into the RFP. I am concerned, as Commissioner Gooch brought out, that now that the envelopes are opened, we've got some prices that are on the table that does make that decision factor strained. I also think that there's probably some timeliness in all of this. If we look back to what Scotty was talking about with chassis, I mean, I definitely like the September 2023 for delivery date on that chassis. I mean, that's pretty unheard of right now. So I've got questions about, you know, the specs. If the specs on the chassis and the body, and the body specs are pretty standard. I think that they're going to be pretty easy to meet, but the truck chassis questions, I got to know what I'm looking at. Am I allowed to reach back out to EPG to get them to answer these questions, or are they not informed? If you all say that I can do that, I would like to do that, so that we can compare these as 3 bids that were opened regularly. Or if I got to discount this and I've got to select between these two, I've made a selection.
Well, your
between the two.
timeline, Bishop, is not changed if you're going to reach out, because what you're saying is the decision's not going to be made at this meeting.
Correct.
For appropriation. And so,
Well,
regardless of...
if they're kicked out, I can make a decision about these two. If that's the only two, if we're not going back to rebid, I can make we'll take the cheapest one.
Let me throw this out there. What if we had a motion to take these 2 or 3, if we got 3, under advisement, with stipulation that we'll get an opinion from our attorney, is this bid legal?
Okay, so...
Now, I think you're saying technicality. It's not just that you got to reach out for clarification. You got to reach out for the answers.
That's right.
And so that's a little difference. So since you like to really want to know about the first bid, I would say is take them under advisement and seek an opinion from our attorney. Is this bid actually legal? Can we accept it? And then look at all that next month.
So, we have a motion and a second before the committee.
Which was what I can.
So to rebid. And so we're in discussion on the motion and the second that the committee hasn't acted on. I would like, Commissioner McAdoo, for you to share your insights. Everybody has had a chance to speak. We're kind of at a point here. We've got to make a decision. Do you have any comments, please?
First of all, we're gonna have to have the county attorney look at it, because you had one bid to come in that you say you're not gonna even open. That's gonna bring up a fact. And then you got the department head saying that he's got questions, so therefore he's gonna have, you need answers to those questions before we accept any bid that the county attorney got to look at. So the best thing to do is just take this under advisement. Like Trey said, take it under advisement with the county attorney opinion on all of it, so we won't get into trouble.
But if we rebid it though, would it not take care of all the questions?
If you rebid it, it would take care of some of the questions, but not all the questions. Because if you rebid it, he's got questions that he's got to get answered.
Well, if he follows the format that was provided in the RFP.
If we rebid it,
What I'm saying is, if we rebid it, will this bid that I throw out be included?
it should be.
If they rebid.
If they rebid,
But I want a county attorney opinion on it.
Well, we can certainly get a county's attorney
Yeah,
opinion,
got
and
that.
we can turn a county's opinion around this week. And then if he says, yes, my advice to the committee is to rebid, it can be rebid late this week, early next week, and we can have those back in by the September meeting, if that's what he advises. There's not an issue. And as a matter of fact, I can get him to issue an opinion directed to this committee saying what his advice is in this regard. I don't think it slows us down
It's
to a
not gonna
September
slow us down.
decision. Where I think I'm at is I don't think we're making a decision on this today.
No.
No,
Okay, And that being the case, so that's where we're all in agreement. We're not making a decision on this today. Then I think what Chairman McAdoo is saying, me reaching out to Nick, and then him giving us an opinion on that would be the direction to go, unless there's some disagreement.
This guy sitting here, and you hate to run a person down face to face, but he didn't meet the bid specifications.
His
Right.
boss didn't.
He did not.
Only with
Right.
his company.
And it may be because they're unfamiliar with what we were asking for, so it may have been legitimate. So from a realistic perspective, you just throw that out. He didn't answer the questions the way that we asked him for, so you throw them out. So you're gonna give this guy another chance, but this guy over here, you're not gonna give another
Agreed.
chance.
Agreed.
Those type of things bother me to a certain
No, I
degree.
don't think, well, you and I have a different understanding. If we rebid it, he's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
able to
yeah,
he's gonna be able to submit his
rebid
bid.
it.
I understand.
Okay.
I did understand
Okay.
that, but my thought process, if we open these bids tonight, that one's disqualified. This one's disqualified because they didn't meet the specifications, which leaves us with this one right here, and that's the decision we need to be making. So from a legal perspective, we can get that interpretation, but that's what Nick is gonna say, that this bid right here did not answer the questions that were asked of them. It's gone. So that only leaves us with actually one particular bid that we're looking at. I've already thrown the $400,000 one out, so that leaves you with one situation. We can rebid the thing, but people out there are going to know.
That's fine.
Would it be
what the bid
unfair to
process
the
is.
one bidder who had everything right? Is it fair to him that he's got to rebid because the other two bidders?
That's
Didn't-
also a fair point.
I don't know the best answer.
Best answer is let my county attorney look
Yeah,
at
there
it.
you go.
But if you don't like that one bidder, the bid, not the bidder, but if you don't like the bid that's left, you don't have to accept it. You can rebid. Is that correct?
That's true.
So there's no legality there. You know, you can either do it or you can't.
This is also, this bid here is with local folks that we know, folks that we currently do business with as far as maintenance and those type of things. This bid, the one that we're talking about that we don't fully understand, is there a problem at all with getting service, or would we ask this company to service that piece of equipment?
The truck and the chassis itself could be serviced under our service contract because it's a Mack chassis. However, the body would have to be serviced by a body company. I'm leaning toward the idea that we should make a decision today, because I think that the rules were played fair. Not all of the requirements were met in this packet. The timeliness wasn't met in the packet from the other contenders. This company came to us with two options. In that, I think it would be, they could claim that we're not playing fair because they did everything that they were doing right. I do think that the Mammoth price is competitive with what I priced out. It's not the price that's on this by a little less than $30,000. However, I know what I'm getting
So,
with this.
to be clear, you asked for a 375 horse motor, correct?
Yes.
One of these is 355.
355. Yes. What I
So
asked.
that didn't meet
Right,
minimum specifications, right?
Well, no, that's not really how this is framed. It is.
See, we can't
Answer
go with
the-
not really. If we
Well-
can't go with not
Well,
really.
we can go with the question. The question is to answer yes or no, or tell me what you can provide, and that's what each one of these did. Is they answered yes or no and told me they could provide.
Really, we need the county attorney to
Then,
look at it.
well, hold on a second, just a second. So if yes, it's not yes, no, but here's what we can provide, but they provided two bids, one met specification apparently, and the other one did not.
Well,
So-
they're using the same chassis, so that it's a chassis question. I think the chassis question specifications are answered the same way.
So both of these chassis are 355. So neither one of them meet the
The
specifications.
375 request, yes.
Yes. Well, it's not a request. It's a chassis cab specification. That's what it says.
Yes.
I'm reading it.
Specification does not mean requirement. It
I didn't
means
say require.
specification.
I know, but it's not the same as a request,
I
Bishop.
think I'm done here.
Huh?
I think I'm ready to move on, please. If we need to take this under advisement, I'll make a recommendation that we do that.
Then
Then,
need to.
so will that, because it goes under advisement, will that mean that I'll have to meet with the attorney? What's my timeline on this?
I will reach out to the attorney and tell him what our conundrum is as it relates to the bids, and then he will give us his advice, and then I will turn that around in the form of an email, hopefully by the end of this week.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Hold on a second. We got a motion and a
Still got a
second.
motion
We got a
to
motion and a second.
I'll
And-
withdraw the
and we-
motion to
I'm
I withdraw my second.
Okay, thank you.
rebid.
To rebid.
Thank you, sir.
Motion
what
to
I'm
take
drawing.
under advisement.
Motion to take under advisement. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a
With county
motion.
attorney
Yep.
opinion.
That, you can do anything, he can do anything he wants to with
Well,
taking it
county
under
attorney
advisement.
opinion.
Yes, sir. All the, take the roll call on that.
Yes. Commissioner Phillips,
Take it under advisement, right? Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Mayor.
Yes.
Okay, taken under advisement.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you.
I will let you know something this Tuesday. Should let you know something by the end of the week. I'll see you Friday. You'll know certainly by then.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Do you want to take these two, Bishop?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Did I vote correctly on that? Is it aye or yes?
We were doing so well.
Wheels come off.
No, they didn't. Look, here's the point of privilege. It's important when we talk about $500,000 to get it right.
I couldn't
On
agree.
the front end.
I'm just telling you, and I appreciate the questions and the thoroughness of this committee. I mean, the buck stops in here. And I'd rather be right and thorough than not. And that's all we were trying to do.
Right.
I appreciate it. All right, what's the next and final
Next.
is installation of equipment in law enforcement vehicles. Deputy Chief Spence.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be congenital with the committee?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Especially these two down here.
Yes, thank you.
I almost sit down there.
You know what, that would be appropriate,
I think you
given the
should.
fact that they have been somewhat rowdy today.
I can move over.
You're packing, aren't you?
Yes.
Always.
I found I'm carrying bullets on Tuesday. Who passed them around?
You still got that bullet?
Yes.
What is this?
This is the bidding and outfitting our patrol cars and our unmarked cars with emergency equipment, striping, camera system, cages, and so forth.
For what? Oh, for this?
So we received, I'm not sure if, are these the same or are they two separate?
They are two separate.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, very good.
I had a couple of vendors that was gonna give 2 bids.
Okay, so I received 4 bids in. I just wanted to verify that while he was here. So, let me get them in the right order.
Well, cars opening that we've tried some front-wheel drive vehicles, correct? Have we tried any?
Not since I've been in my role. I can't remember any commissioner.
Then we probably haven't.
Rumor is y'all going to minivans?
Right now, yeah, we got some vans ordered, and it's taking forever to get them in. We bought some under the mental health grant
Oh, really?
on that, and then one crime scene van, and they're still not in yet.
Could that possibly have been the city, maybe Murfreesboro,
Could have been.
that's doing front load?
Yes, sir. I know we talked about it a while back, but a long time ago, but they would, I don't think they would hold up the mileage that we put on our cars.
I remember some of those conversations. But I also remember that there are some across the, and it might be cities, incorporated areas, that have gone to front-wheel drive, and I just wondered what that performance was, because I think we were, the bids for, or the price of some of those things were a lot more competitive.
Just keep it organized in that too.
Certified original, okay. I think, do you have one yourself and see if this is, these look different. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Goes back to the meat is.
It's, total on here, about everything.
Price it all separate.
Yes, sir.
Is that new specification?
Don't think it does.
Not sure what to look at.
Yeah, it's all broken down individual prices.
You ready for number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
David Spence, can you tell us what we're doing here today, please, sir?
Yes, sir. Bidding out the outfitting of our patrol cars and detective cars with lights, emergency equipment, screens, back seats, camera system, and the wiring of equipment.
And how many vehicles are we talking about?
25.
And is this, will these be priced based on unit, or will it be for all 25?
Per unit. This is how we budget it per
A per unit, and so I guess they're not all done at one time, are they, or are they?
done in stages, whenever the vendors can work them in to outfit them.
Okay.
Yes.
And so is typically the uplift done at their facility, or do they come on site and do it? How is that done?
They do it at their facility.
They do?
Where they have the equipment to do so.
Okay.
On this first bid, I'm looking at 2 prices. Are those a combined price, or is it different?
You talking about Strobes or us?
Yes.
Yeah. They individual price, but they haven't gave a total of all the equipment.
Well, I'm looking at 2 totals. Like, for example, if I'm looking at it right, it says 16,108, and then 2 pages
I didn't see that either.
over. Is that 15,761?
Yeah, yes, sir. They broke it down with the light bar and console, the Rhino
So, okay, 15,000.
push bar, and some other items, and it was $16,108.56. And the other equipment's broken down: Wayland light bar, equipment with the panels, the lower extension panels, and it's $15,761.
So it's one or the other, it's not add them together.
Yes, sir.
One or the other.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. The way I read it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on-duty depot on that, their first bid is $10,117.
$11,697.
Who did we use last time?
Truckers has been doing our cars the last few years.
Is that this one?
The last one, yes, sir.
Okay.
And they have representative here tonight too.
You want to come? Yes, sir. Ask, in case the community has questions. If you would, and I should have done this earlier, if you would identify yourself and where you're from, I would appreciate it.
My name is Edward Young,
Thank you, Mr. Young. And where are you from?
Truckers Lighthouse,
And that is?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so he's.
I'm sorry, that
got
was on
2
Union
bids.
Depot. This is a different company.
Okay.
We haven't seen his yet, have we?
No,
Yeah,
sir, no.
yeah, they're coming, sorry.
I apologize. I had to separate all the 4 copies. I apologize.
You can let Max see what I got. I'm just listening.
Okay, yes, that's the first one that he's
Some
sent.
papers floating around. I can't keep up with it.
We're gonna have fun keeping up with all this.
The first quote for from Truckers is 11,270.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Is that the one that Carl just passed down?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How many bids did we have?
Yeah, we had 2 from Lighthouse, and then 1 from Strokes or Us, and another one from Union
So
Depot.
a total of 4 bids
Total
Yes,
of
sir.
4, yes.
and 3 bidders.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Is this something that you want to take under advisement?
Yes, sir,
or
that's going to be my recommendation. That way I make sure apples versus apples.
you are, I
A lot of
can't
equipment.
tell you how much I appreciate you saying
I want
that.
to make sure we do it the right way.
You are.
Thank you.
Taking it
Yes,
on
yes,
the file.
Did you mention to take it under advisement? Did you?
Mac, was that a motion?
Make a motion, take it under advisement.
Second.
Did you pass out the 4th one?
I'm working on it.
And we will wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought I had 4.
I thought you did too.
No.
I thought we got 3.
We will,
Okay.
we will jump the gun a little bit.
This is all of them.
But that was the recommendation of Deputy Chief Spence anyway, so I don't think anything's gonna change,
Here's-
Commissioner Gooch. But unless you just like, help.
1,
This is gonna be.
2,
There's,
3.
We'll be touching base.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if I got everything in there.
That will go back over there.
Thank you.
3. Okay. Now, right.
Cool, thank you. These copies.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
There's,
Yeah, the original stay here, Chief.
there's one. Yeah. Because they sent it like this.
Toby Keith.
While they're looking at those things, you've got one at 11.2 and you've got one 10.5.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference?
I would have to look at that.
I got yours.
$700.
Sorry, folks.
Put some paper tabs and page tabs. I can stop at the office and make a copy before I leave, if that's okay with you.
We'll get you, there's more
Okay.
copies later. We'll get you one of those.
Now, everyone got 4 copies? Make a motion to take it under advisement.
I may have to speak to my sales manager to see.
Trey, say second. Take it under advisement.
We've already got a motion on it.
No, they brought it.
We decided to do a do-over.
Okay, second.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Looks like it's in the, looks like it's in the siren, light controller and something about the light bar,
The light bar.
flood thing.
Yeah.
Like the fourth, the third and the fourth from the top.
The one with the $1,000 light bar, they bid a cheaper light bar than the other bid. There's different brands. You got Whale light bars, you got a Federal light bar. And that's one thing we're gonna have to look at and make sure we got the same items.
We want the one with the most lumens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brightness.
Yes, can we get ran over enough out there on the interstate?
That's
Got
it.
that right.
We want people to know you're there.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or discussion regarding taking it under advisement as per the recommendation by Deputy Chief Spence? Call the roll, please.
Yes, sir.
No, you're fine. It helps when you show up.
Commissioner Phillips,
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson, Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Deputy Chief. You're-
I've got a few more things.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry.
That's all good
You-
stuff.
you
Oh,
take
my
those-
goodness.
You take those bids with you, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
He takes copies.
Thank you.
All right. I see the handwritten stuff. Thank you, sir,
Yes,
for
sir.
coming.
Thank you so much.
Well, surplus sale of weapons.
Yes, sir.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Now we get to the
Yes,
good
sir.
stuff.
We're requesting to,
Trey?
Put them under the table.
Commissioner, we've been there before. And it wasn't weapons.
Oh, my goodness.
We're requesting to surplus and sell 64 handguns and 13 long rifles that were awarded to us through the court orders from drug seizures or felony arrests. And we'll bring this back to the committee if it's approved to get the highest dollar amount that's given to us to put into our law enforcement equipment.
Are these sold as one lot?
Yeah, yes, sir. They come and look at all the weapons and give us
They
a quote.
give you a bid.
Yes, sir.
Is that advertised somehow, some way?
We reach out to vendors that we know, and that gives us good business and so forth. And
These are like gun shops, gun stores.
yes, sir, they have to have their class.
Yeah, they got to have a license.
Yes, and majority of what we're trying to do is get somebody outside the county, that whether guns are leaving our county.
How many, you've done this before, obviously, how many respondents do you typically have?
4 or 5.
Okay.
And then some locals do, but the companies outside the county are a little bit bigger and are able to give us more money for the weapons.
Just curious, because I'm intrigued by this. Do they come and inspect the weapons?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And any weapons that's been used in a homicide or a suicide, we dispose of those. We don't resell those.
Those are destroyed, are they
yes,
not?
Yes, sir, they are.
What do you expect it to bring in their history?
It'd be hard to guess. We've gotten up to $60,000 for
How much?
60,000.
Really?
In the past, we've traded or sold over 200 and something weapons also.
Okay.
What kind of a motion do you need?
I guess we need a motion to approve the bid,
Yes.
to put it out to an RF. Would this be an RFP? This is my first gun sale, commissioners.
I think
What do we do here?
Usually what I've
we
done.
make a motion to surplus it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I bring it back to the committee saying this is what was offered from all these vendors.
And then we approve,
recommend-
then we approve the sale.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we need a motion to surplus the weapons as described.
Second.
I can't make a
So
motion.
move.
Didn't you make the motion?
Who moved?
I thought Trey made it.
Anthony.
Anthony second.
We're gonna have more.
She was making the motion.
I'll second the motion.
So call the roll.
Who made the motion?
Anthony made the motion. Mac made the second.
And I'm sitting here.
I just assigned it to somebody. I don't know if you guys did it or not. think actually Commissioner Phillips made the original motion, and then we were trying to ask what was the motion.
We don't need legal advisement on this, right?
So roll call it, please, Carla.
Okay.
Thank you.
That'll be passed around. That's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure that's good. I do have three. Okay.
We just signed up top, right, like we did before?
Yes, just sign on there, yes. Commissioner Phillips.
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Mayor.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next.
Surplus trade vehicles.
Yes, sir. Narcotics is requesting to trade a 2014 Jeep Cherokee Latitude, a 2022 Ram 1500 TRX pickup, and a 2015 Ram 1500 Tradesman pickup for 3 new vehicles. The difference in the price will be $61,606.50.
So, just to be clear, we're trading these in? These are surplus vehicles we're trading in for new vehicles,
Brand
is
new
that
vehicles.
correct?
These were seized from drug deals.
Right, but what I want to make sure is we're not surplusing these like the weapons, we're surplusing these for a trade-in.
Yes, sir.
Toward a new vehicle. I want to
Correct.
make sure we get the motion correct. That's
Yes,
what I'm
yes,
asking.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
And the price difference on the trade is $61,605.50.
Okay. When we do this, to any extent, do we hurt the state contract that we buy off of?
No, sir.
Okay. So we still work off the state contract, and then this, any price difference is deducted from that number,
Right,
correct?
but they looked at the state contract on some of these vehicles, and they're not on the state contract, the vehicles that they're looking for.
Oh, okay.
Narcotics tries to look for vehicles that blends in with the cars here.
Gotcha. I got you. Thank you. So we will need a motion to surplus these vehicles as trade-ins.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to surplus vehicles for trade-ins. And call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips.
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Eyes down there.
Aye.
Can I change my vote?
No.
Mayor.
Yes. Can we just say yes or no, Commissioner Gooch? Aye. Oh, mercy.
Okay,
This is
and lastly.
All right, thank you. What we have is, I can't read this writing. What are we doing?
We're requesting to extend our contract with A1 Cleaners. We currently pay
Okay, thank you.
$2.20. With a 5% increase, it'd go up to $2.31 a piece on the pants, shirts, so forth. And we feel like this would be a way to save, if we bid it out, we feel like it might be higher than just a 5% increase.
Say that again.
We want to extend their contract because it's a 5% increase on their price. That's what I'm asking for. But if we rebid it, it might be a possibility. It might be more than just a 5% increase.
I have a question.
On what?
On dry cleaning.
Dry cleaning.
yes.
So why, and I'm not challenging the premise, I
Yes.
just don't understand the statement. Why would your concern be it would be higher if you bid it, since it's competitive? I don't understand that.
Just like it possibility, we've been doing business with them for a while, and they did a 5%. And they haven't told me. That's just my feeling. If we bid it out, it may be more than a 5%.
No, I take your counsel on this seriously, which is why I've asked.
5% seems reasonable at state time.
Oh, it most certainly does. I was trying to follow the logic of a competitive environment as opposed to just a straight 5% increase.
Yes.
How long have we had them as our vendor?
Since 2020.
2020.
And how many times have they gone up on the price?
Just one time, 2 years ago, I believe.
Do
And
you
I can't remember what.
remember-
They originally were at $2 in 2020, went up to $2.10, and now at $2.31.
So it's 2 times they raised.
And this is a 5% increase?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Without objection, question, I move to approve.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve. Motion by Commissioner Phillips, second by Carl Boyd. Commissioner Boyd, call the roll. Begin the roll call with Commissioner Gooch, please.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
I too.
I'm a yes.
I didn't call you yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Matt, you're
Commissioner
next.
McAdoo.
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes, thank you. All right.
Thank you,
Pass
Trey.
this around.
Thank you. I hope you have a good evening.
We have already.
Thank you.
Too
Yeah,
much.
thank you for calling, John.
See y'all next month.
Steve, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you
Thank
have all
you.
the forms you need?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
I
you.
don't need any more.
Is there other business?
I'd just like to say, we had a good time tonight,
We did.
but we were serious, we got the job done.
Oh, yeah.
We were serious about doing the job.
Well,
But
we did, Commissioner. I appreciate you pointing that out because we had a couple of things that we had misgivings about, and we just wanted to, we gotta get it right. And of all the committees that I think serve this county, this is the one that matters in a very distinct way because we deal with taxpayers' money. And that's very important, and I take it seriously. I know you do too. So thank you for those comments. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, we're adjourned.